So let's get started with giving you some information living in Seattle suburbs. And this one, we're doing Mount Vernon and the Tulip Fields. So, and I do have a friend who lives there, and we meet every week. And she was talking about, we're done with the Tulip Field festivals now. They closed Mount Vernon down pretty much, and it's just walking around. And it's a small, old, very older town on the river. So it's great to be able to do that. So, Tulip Fields in Mount Vernon and Chuckanut Drive. Here we go. My name's Meryl Lee. This is Seattle Suburbs. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Send me an email, schedule a Calendly appointment. I won't bother you, I swear. I'll answer any questions you have. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help. So, if you've ever seen those colorful tulip fields, then you know that you've been in Washington and you're looking at Mount Vernon. So tonight or today, actually it is tonight, we're going to go through this, and I'll talk a little bit about the Skagit Valley, because that's where Mount Vernon is located. And as I had said, it's about an hour north of Seattle. And the biggest destination every spring is the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival. People also go to Mount Vernon for the co-op. It's in a beautiful vintage 2-story building. They have everything in there. It's very large, local produce and everything, bakery. They've got food bar. You can pick out the homemade foods. A lot of it's gluten-free and things like that, vegan. They've got ice cream, and then upstairs you can see the beautiful things that people make. So that's a great day out as well, any season. If you go during the fall, it's a beautiful drive, and then they have like the biggest pumpkins. So location and commute. Well, Mount Vernon is about an hour to Seattle. It's up there. It's kind of like the hub in Skagit Valley. It's right off the freeway. It's I think it's the biggest town right up there. And it's about a half an hour to Marysville, and about 45 minutes to Everett. So you get this beautiful farmland and scenery without being totally disconnected, because you can come down into town and there's a lot going on. There's a huge music scene. There's a lot of arts and crafts. They've got a theater there, a historical theater, and there's a great theater group. I have some friends who act and play music. They're sisters, Savannah Woods and Ireland Woods. You may have seen Savannah. She was on The Voice. Beautiful, wonderful souls who are very talented. And they tend to perform around this area. And I've seen Ireland perform at the historical theater in Mount Vernon. So living in Mount Vernon, this is important. This is something that people don't always realize. It's not just a tourist spot, for sure. It is a real community. It's got more affordable home prices, for sure, for sure. A mix of farmland, neighborhoods, but you still have that small town feel. There's easy access to places like Burlington, which has big box shopping. I love Burlington too. I really love it. If I had to choose, I've always thought I would live in Burlington. It feels, it's newer, and it has a lot of shops. So like if you need to get your tires fixed, you got to go to Costco, or you need to get hardware or what, it's right there. I wouldn't say it's a great walkability, but Burlington has that, and they just like merge. The towns are so close together. Mount Vernon has a walkability to it when you're down in the town. Of course, it's all spread out around you. You can go north, south, east, and west. And then, of course, you have all the different ages of homes, turn of the century, all the way up to some new construction. There's also a big hill on the east side, and a lot of newer constructions up there. There's a hospital up there, not like a whole bunch of shopping, but definitely it has been developed. So who is this area perfect for? Who would it be perfect for? And we're talking the whole Skagit Valley. It's great for people who want more space and a slower life. Buyers who've just been priced out of Seattle and Everett, but can actually live a little further out. I know Boeing has a lot of carpool, van pool too. So if you happen to work there, you can probably catch a ride, or even just drive down south a little bit and go to a carpool and catch a ride. There's also a commuter train. So if you really want to live up in Mount Vernon, Skagit Valley, Anacortes, Burlington, those areas, you can drive to Everett and catch the light rail or the commuter train. and it can take you down further south through the towns. So there's a lot of ways to get around here. It's making life a lot easier to branch out. Growing up, going to Mount Vernon was like, a vacation, like a huge, big trip. Going to Marysville from Everett, and it's 15 minutes away. That was like, wow, and now they just seem very, close together. So anyone who loves nature and farming and open views is definitely going to love Mount Vernon. You have the valley, and then you've got the mountains behind you. And it's just beautiful, beautiful, all seasons, all seasons. It's just people who don't want to feel crammed in, and you want your privacy. You want to live your own life, kind of do your own thing. I know there's a lot of, I don't even know what you call them now, but like, the co-op, and the type of people that it attracts, people who want to eat super healthy foods, who have a lifestyle where maybe it's all natural, no preservatives, no pre-made stuff, make your own, self-sufficient. There's people like that. I have heard, though, that there's a water plant coming up there. I mean, that was a couple of years ago. I haven't seen anything, but I do know that like Tesla has discovered us, Amazon, and they're down more around us in Marysville, but they're coming up north. So, I mean, they got to go somewhere, I guess. Not that we're all crammed in, but we do spread out. So my personal observation of our beautiful Mount Vernon is being up there really stands out about how open everything feels up there. It's really, really beautiful. And I love the vintage brick buildings. We were in the Calico Cupboard restaurant, and I'm like, look at that floor, look at the walls. I went in the bathroom, look at the wall, everywhere you go. It's really, really cool. And you get that in Seattle too, though. There's a lot of vintage buildings down there, of course. But like Marysville, these other kind of towns, not as much as like Mount Vernon. Living here in this area, you've got the mountains, you've got the farmland, and then a few weeks out of the year, it just explodes with color. And it's just one of those places that's way more impressive in person. It's kind of hard to explain than in photos. So if you're thinking of moving to the Seattle suburbs, like I said earlier, give me a shout out, and we can talk about it. So next I wanted to talk about Chuckanut Drive. Chuckanut Drive goes north and south, and it's like a coastal road, but it's woodsy and it's up high. So there's not a whole lot of places to access the water. There's a few restaurants. I think there's 3. And you want to make reservations. They're like special Mother's Day type restaurants for us. I did hear some of them have happy hours. One of them's called like the Chuckanut Manor, I think. And I mean, I've been to a couple of them. And the Oyster Bar is one of them. And then down on the beach, there's actually a restaurant that does oysters, and that's more casual. And that is beautiful. You'll see in the pictures. We drove down there, and the tide was out as far as I have ever seen it in my entire life. I've never seen a tide go out that far. And there was like boats that don't have any water under them. It's pretty interesting. So that's always a fun place to go down there. I've seen lines. There were lines there when we went. But there's a pretty big indoor restaurant and then a lot of outdoor seating. And, our area can get chilly. So you always want to make sure when you go, you've got a sweater, a vest, a jacket, gloves, hats, because we were putting our layers on and off all day. And it was about 65 to like 68, which was pretty darn warm for this time of year. And there was so much wind. I'm like, what's going on? It was almost exhausting to be in all day long, this wind. And I came home, which is a half an hour away, and the kids said it was really windy here too. And I love it. I love the wind. It was just like whisking our hair around all day everywhere we went. The sun was shining, and it was a really nice day out. So Chuckanut Drive is a pleasant drive just to take, if you just want to get out and take a drive. The water park up in Bellingham is really popular. It's not a big, giant, fancy one. The last time I was there was a couple really big slides and a few other things. And they did have lockers and a little bit of food. But I mean, it's been a really long time since I've been there. But I know the kids go up there. And so you could take Chuckanut Drive up there also. I mean, it's slower than taking I-5. So if you want to get up there fast, take I-5. But Chuckanut Drive is a beautiful, beautiful view drive. And you've got your restaurants you can stop at. There's hiking up the side of the mountain. I've never been there myself, but I saw a lot of cars and we were thinking, are they going down or are they going up? And they were going up. We saw the trail. So we ended up going down on the beach by the oyster place, looking at the beds in the water and just kind of meandering around. Real nice place to spend some time. And then we came into town to the Calico Cupboard and had lunch, soup and salad. It was really, really good. And did a little shopping and came home. So Mount Vernon, Chuckanut Drive, it's on the east side of I-5 where we went. And we actually even went more east from Mount Vernon into the valley. And if you think you can handle the commute, perhaps if you're working in Bellevue or Seattle and you're hybrid or remote, it would be perfect, perfect. I know there's people who live in Mount Vernon and work in Bellingham. There's a university up there. So people make it work. They make it work, and it's a beautiful place to live. And it's pretty easy to get around. I imagine going up on that hill a little bit where all the residential is, they probably keep those big roads cleared. And there's also College Way. It's north side town of Mount Vernon on the east. And there's a college over there. There's specialists. There's just a lot of shopping up and down the road. So it can really work for you. I think you have everything you need. And if you move to Anacortes, Burlington, Bow, Connor, those little towns around there, you can always come in and shop. And you're not that far away. Movie theaters, Fred Meyer's, things like that. So I would say, would I live there? Yes, I would. Have I thought about it? Yes, I have. It's a little too far for me right now for what I need. And, the kids wouldn't like it if I moved that far away, which is like a half an hour. But we do go up there a lot and enjoy what they have to offer, definitely. And if I'm going up north for any reason, I mean, sometimes we just go to the border or we have to go do some business or what have you up there in Bellingham. I always stop in Mount Vernon and at least go to the co-op. And sometimes we drive up there just for that. I mean, it's really worth it. All the homemade jams and peanut butter, molasses. You've got your full grocery store, and like pharmaceutical stuff that's homeopathic and all natural. And I've bought quite a few things up there myself, just to have another choice. So Skagit Valley has come alive. It used to be no man's land, kind of. Where is it? And you'd stop in on your way going up to Canada, which Vancouver's not that far away. That's a nice day trip too. You do have to have that special license now, the extended license to cross the border. So most of us all got it years ago. Also, Anacortes has the ferries into the San Juans, and you can go to all the lovely little islands, the ones that do take ferry, and you can go there and have a day trip too. So lots of choices around here for fun day trips. So if you have any questions, please reach out. And thank you for hanging in there with me. I'm Marilee. And don't forget to subscribe today so you don't miss any posts. You get all the new updates. I can answer any questions you have. It's absolutely free. And I also want to thank you for stopping by my channel, Living in Seattle Suburbs with Marilee.